Well, welcome everyone again to our You Can Success Summit that I'm excited about, and I'm really excited about today because I have a friend of mine who I believe is going to really be able to inspire you and give you some insights that can really help you if you're in the direct sales industry or if you're looking for an opportunity right now. You've been here now a few days or through a few speakers and you've heard a lot of information already, but I'm going to tell you right now, the gentleman you're going to hear from right now is a powerhouse. We seem like we're cut from the same cloth. We have the same running backgrounds from a long period of time. But I can tell you right now, the information you're going to hear that he's going to share is going to move you to take action. Because right now, a lot of people are hurting. There's a lot of people out there that are looking for an opportunity, that need ways to make money, that need ways to generate additional income, and that might be you. Or maybe you're already in a business and you just need some mentorship, you need some guidance, you need some specific techniques and some things you can do to be successful. Well, I met JC a couple months ago. I was at a networking event during the day and he was up there speaking. And it was interesting because as he was talking, I was taking notes and I was like, did he listen to one of my videos? Because it was almost like he was saying word for word the stuff I was saying. And I was just like, wow, I need to meet him. And as we met, we became great friends, and his family and my family as well. And so I'm really excited to be here. And JC, I am super excited that you came and you want to be able to share your wisdom with all my guests. So welcome to JC here today. So JC, it's up. This is all your turn. It's all your time to be able to share your wisdom with our audience.
Awesome. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, it's when you say that we're cut from the same cloth, I completely agree. We definitely have a lot of the same background, a lot of the same schooling in the direct sales industry and sales in general mindset. And also, we both love the Lord. So it's we got a lot of things in common. I'm very grateful and happy that I met you, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, JC, just tell us a little bit about your story, because I know you've been in direct sales for a long time. I don't remember the exact amount of years, but maybe you can give them some insights of, your background, how you got in, what made you get in, and, how it started. Because I'm sure you weren't as successful as you are today when you first started. So maybe you could just tell them a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm an immigrant from Mexico. My mother was the first person from our family to come to this country, and she came by herself with one friend, actually, and didn't know anybody. And she came here for 2 years. We stayed in Mexico with my grandma. Well, 2 years of her hard work, she was able to make enough money to bring my brother and I here. Now we have a third brother. And growing up, I saw my mom work 9 to 5. It was more like a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. type of job. She used to work in downtown LA at the Garment District. And then in addition to that, she used to work like Herbalife, Mary Kay. At one point, she had like thousands of dollars worth of filters in her house, air filters. So she always had an entrepreneurial mindset. And when I was 10, I used to go to meetings with her, network marketing, direct sales meetings. She'd be drawing on the chalkboard, the presentation, and I would be drawing cartoon characters in the back. And I always wanted to be around my mom. So when I was 18, I was introduced to the direct sales industry. I didn't have a social security number yet. And I told the guy, look, man, I already tried to go to school to get student loans. They didn't qualify me because I don't have a social security number. I tried to get a job. I can't get a job because I don't have a social security number. I tried to join the Marine Corps because somebody told me that in the Marine Corps I could join. And they told me they couldn't help me. They told me that a few years earlier, they were taking people in my shoes, but not anymore. And I said, so if you can't help me, I just want you to know. He says, no, we can help you out. We can help you get a tax ID number. You can work this business. I said, all right, show me. So I got started, but I made $60 my first 6 months with that company, $60. So that's an average of $10 per month. But I started to grow as a person. I started to learn personal development. I started to develop the mindset of an entrepreneur, of a successful entrepreneur. I was learning from people that were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, a year, some of them making over $1 million per year. And one of the things that they told me, they said, look, this is an investment you're making in yourself. And they also said, listen, in order for things to change, you have to change. So I never heard things like this. And they would say to me, if you stick and stay, you'll get your pay. If you stick and stay, you'll get your pay. So I stuck it out. So I only made $60 with that company my first 6 months. Eventually that company, it closes doors for, X reasons. But I joined another network marketing company. I made $0. But I saw the vision. I saw if other people could do it, I could do it. My third company, I made $300 my first week. And I said, oh man, I'm onto something here. And then I just kept building. And in my early 20s, like 22 years old, I was making about $3,000, $4,000 per month with that company. And to me at the time, that was full-time income. It was very good income from a direct sales company. And so I didn't turn back. After that point, what I did is I just focused in the industry. And long story short, by the age of 28, I was able to retire my mom because of that industry. By the age of 30, I was able to make my first $1 million inside of 1 year. And I'm now 37. So I've done this business a little bit over half of my life. And, I've earned millions of dollars in the industry and, very grateful. It's been a great run. And yeah.
So JC, I mean, man, that's some great success. And a lot of people that are listening right now, sometimes they think that, it was easy. You got in, you found the right company the first time and you just killed it. And I know you said you had some challenges there at the beginning, but maybe you can expand on that a little bit. What kind of obstacles did you have to overcome? I know you had the ID obstacle, but I mean, like when you started building the business and made $60 in 6 months, what kind of challenges were you running into that you had to deal with personally, and how did you deal with them?
Sure. Well, there's a lot of obstacles. One of the obstacles when I was 18 is, and it was excuses that I made. And this is, most people are programmed to make excuses, right? I was young and I said, it's because I'm young, nobody takes me seriously. So one of the things I heard you talk about, which is very true, and I believe that you will perform the way you see yourself. That's what you said on a Bible study yesterday. And yes, that is absolutely true. So I would make the excuse that I'm too young. But here's the deal. Here's what I now know. No matter what, there's somebody in your shoes with your same circumstances that's making it happen, and there's more people that are not making it happen. But the guy that's too young says that he's too young. The guy that's too old says that he's too old. The guy that's in his 30s that's not too old or too young, he says, oh, well, I got kids, I got a responsibility, I got this and that. So at the end of the day, if you want to fail, any excuse will do. But if you want to succeed, guess what? Any reason will do, right? So one of the things I learned is, and I got lucky because I had what I call the bulletproof mindset from early on, because I did martial arts from the age of 11 approximately till this day, and I won a world title when I was 18. And so you're put with a lot of setbacks, but you just build off of those setbacks. And then you have the philosophy of, I win some and I learn some. I didn't lose, I learned. I win some, I learn some. That's a philosophy. So as I failed, I realized, okay, that's fine. I failed, but now I'm going to come back and get better. I'm going to come back and get better. And if other people could have success, I could have success. So for example, my first company, I was going to all the trainings, I was going to all the meetings, but I wasn't doing what I call A activity, which is A activity means prospecting, presenting, and selling. Prospecting, presenting, and selling. These are the MMA, the money-making activities. Prospecting people, presenting to people, selling the product or service, getting customers, right? And obviously following up on those prospects. So one of the things that I did is, number one, I didn't prospect enough. If you don't prospect enough, you don't have people to present to. Does that make sense? And you won't make sales. And then if you don't prospect, you got nobody to follow up with. So number one problem for me was I wasn't prospecting enough. My expectations were not managed. I thought I'm going to make a list of 20 people, make some phone calls, recruit a couple of folks, and make some sales, and then it's going to go. That's not how it works. You have to have, whether you're doing real estate sales or network marketing or solar or whatever you're doing, you have to have a mindset that you've got to prospect like a madman or like a mad woman on a daily basis. And too many people focus, and this was me, on the B activities and the C activities. What is the B activities? During the day, which is prime time, when they could be making phone calls to prospect, when they could be out in the field prospecting, whether that's prospecting people at a mall, whether that's door knocking, whether that's making cold calls, or whatever the case is, instead of during that prime time doing those money-making activities, they're doing C activities. They're majoring in minors. I tell people, don't major in minors, major in majors. So what are the majors? The majors are the A activities, as I mentioned: prospecting, presenting, following up, making personal sales, right? Leading by example. So what a lot of people do is during the day, prime time, they're working on their website. They're designing a flyer. They're looking at their back office. They're going through a training. Listen, man, go through that training early in the morning when you can't talk to prospects. Go through that training at the end of your day. Go through that training when it's not prime time, right? That's the A, B, and C activities. And so that's one of the obstacles that I had for me. I wasn't prospecting enough. I was making excuses. You know what I mean? And one of the things is, you know, I will mention this. In that first company that I was a part of, I had some great trainers there, but they didn't manage the expectations well enough. They, you know, one of the problems with direct sales and just sales in general is when an organization tells it, makes it seem, and they keep saying that it's easy. No, it's not easy. You got to let people know that it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I really dislike when people say, oh, this business is easy. You just got to get a few people. You just got to talk to a few people. No, it's hard. It'll be one of the hardest things you're going to ever do. But it'll also be one of the most rewarding things. It'll be, you know, when I'm talking about the direct sales and network marketing industry, it'll definitely be worth it. But then if you don't do that, you send people out there with the wrong mindset, and then you wonder why they fail. So I didn't have the right mindset. Therefore, I didn't prospect enough. And then not only that, the people that help you get from one rank to another rank will not be the same people that help you get from that rank to the following rank. Some people, you're enthused about them. They help you. You guys are working together. They help you get to a certain rank in direct sales, network marketing. Well, those same people aren't the same people that will help you get to the next rank. You know, by that time, some of those people quit. Some of their fire went out. But there's new people that you work with, right? That's why I teach people in sales, direct sales, or any type of sales, network marketing, direct sales, or whatever sales you do, business in general. It's like a battle, especially in the beginning when you barely launch your business. It's like you're going into a battle, into a war, and your job is to be around after the dust settles. Why? Because the dust is going to settle. There's going to be casualties like in a war. Casualties meaning people are going to quit. People are going to lose their dreams, right? Why? Because they get no's. They get rejection. It gets tough. They doubt themselves. So your job is to go through that battle of prospecting and building your business, all out massive action, and be around after the dust settles. Because after the dust settles, you've got some experience, you've got some customers, you've made some money, you've got some momentum. And another mistake that I made is after I made some good sales, had a good month, I did that with momentum. Then what did I do? I let the momentum die. So I was like, yeah, I was too busy celebrating instead of capitalizing on the momentum. For example, when is the best time to go out there and talk to people to make a sale? Right after you just made a sale. So in order to make a sale, you got to go out there, all out massive action. Prospect. Then finally you got a sale. What most people do, they take a break. Oh, I got a sale, man, let's celebrate. No, you're already at your highest level of enthusiasm. You've got confidence. You got this swagger. You're on fire. Go get another sale. If you're in the recruiting business, you just recruited some person, the best time to go recruit somebody is right after you just recruited somebody. Go out there and make it happen, right? So build on that momentum. You know, in sales and business, momentum is the hardest thing to get and it's the easiest thing to lose.
Well, you know, everything you said is absolutely right, man. And it's funny, some of the words you said is some of the same words I say. It's funny. And you know, you mentioned something about that it's not easy, but it's worth it. You know, I also say this, it's easy and it's also simple. So it's not easy, it's not easy, but it's simple. What we actually have to physically do on a daily basis is not hard to do. Like building a house is hard.
Yep.
If I had to go out and do construction work, that's hard. Yes, right? In the hot sun, you lifting concrete, and That's hard work. Digging a hole, that's hard work. Network marketing is not hard. It's simple, but it's not easy because it's a mental game. I think it's 90% mental, 10% physical.
Yeah. And I think what it is this, is like you said, for me, I believe it's easy, but I don't teach people it's easy. The reason why for me it's easy is because I'm so used to doing it. I've managed my expectations. I've done it a lot of times. But guess what's easier? It's easier not to do it. It's easier to take a break. It's easier to call it quits. It's easier to say, I had to make 30 calls today. I only made 19, but I'm tired. So I developed the philosophy of, I'm the guy that gets things done. Everybody else must be the other guy. Because if I say I'm going to make 30 calls today, I'm going to finish making calls when I'm done making the 30 calls, not when I'm tired. I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. And that's one of the things, just forget sales, just in general. Most people's philosophies are weak philosophies. And I talk that way because of my martial arts background. I was taught to be tough. I was taught that one of the best things you can be in life is a tough man or a tough woman, because this life, just life in general, requires us to be tough, right? Especially as a man of God, when we talk to people, right, we're going to get rejection, right? I know that that's not the topic we're talking about, but same thing with sales. You're going to get rejection. So I believe everything starts, and I learned this from Jim Rohn, with your philosophies, which lead to your attitude, which leads to your actions, which lead to your results and lifestyle. So if people aren't taking the right actions daily, it's because their philosophies are wrong. For example, money doesn't grow on trees. That's a philosophy. But that's a philosophy of unsuccessful people. Money doesn't grow on trees. No, I know it doesn't grow on trees, but I believe it grows in other people's pockets. And if I can provide something of more value than that money that you have, and not only provide the value, but if I can develop the charisma, the sales skills, the communication skills, and I'm able to connect with you more than my competition, I'm going to win. And guess what? Charisma, communication skills, and sales skills, anybody can develop. I don't care if you're the shyest person in the world. Anybody can develop that if you have the desire to develop that. But what creates a desire in all these things is a philosophy. If I have a philosophy like, hey, listen, success is my duty. I tithe 10% to the ministry, to the word of God. That's important to me. I want that 10% to be as high as possible. I retire my mom. It's not easy to do that. I need to make a certain amount of money to be able to do that. I don't work hard because I love money. I work hard because, first of all, if it fulfills me, I'm able to bless other people with it. I like the lifestyle it provides, but it isn't because I want a shiny new watch. That's not the reason why. So I have my philosophies on why I work so hard. So my philosophy is, my son, my wife and I, we have a 6-year-old son. He did not ask to be brought to this world. My wife and I made a decision to bring a son into this world. So guess what? Not only is it my duty, that is the ultimate mentorship. So it is my duty to mentor him in life. Somebody just joined the Zoom. It's my duty to mentor him in life, right? So not only is it my duty to mentor him in life, but it's also my duty to provide the right life. So I have him my wife and I, we have him in a Christian school, right? My wife is mainly a stay-at-home mom. All of that stuff costs money, right? So my philosophy is, I'm going to get it done. And how am I going to get it done? By developing certain skills and by going out there and being a hardworking person that when everybody else is taking a break, I'm not taking a break.
You said something very, very important, that it's all in your mind. It's all the thinking. The mindset is the key, and even the sign you have behind you, what the mind can't conceive and believe it can achieve, which is so important. And that's the thing about a lot of people right now, that they're hurting because they don't have a money problem. Most people that are challenged financially, it's not that they have a money problem, they have an idea problem. Right. They're not creative enough to come up with a way to generate income, and direct sales and network marketing is absolutely one of those ways to do so. And I want to throw something out there. You said money doesn't grow on trees. It actually does grow on trees because it's made of wood, but paper. But I get what you mean. You're absolutely right. It does not grow on trees. We can't go out in the backyard and pick some money out of it.
Right.
But literally, figuratively speaking, it kind of does.
Sure. I'm talking about the philosophy that people use.
I know, of course, man. I know. I'm just joking. Okay, good. So yeah, thank you for that, because that's so important for people to really just get the mindset. And they got to realize that success is not difficult. It's simple. You do have to work. It takes integrity. It takes character to work on a consistent basis, even when you don't want to. And that's what you're sharing right now. That you've developed that, and that's what allows you to be successful, no matter what company you go to.
Right.
Matter.
Yeah. It's what I was getting to is that it's easy to do, but it's easier not to do. Right. It's easy to make a list of 100 contacts, but it's easier not to. It's easier to make a list of 10. It's easier not to call the chicken list, the people that intimidate us. It's easier not to call them. Right? It's easy to call them, really. I mean, just make a call. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to get a no. But it's easier not to call them. So Jim Rohn teaches what's easy to do is easier not to do.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. I like that. I like that mindset, because you're right. It is easier to not do it, but then you suffer the consequences of not doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I know you've been doing this for a long time. You've had a lot of people that you've worked with. So let's talk about some of your successes. I know you said you've been able to retire your mom, you said?
Yes.
Retire your mom. But what about some people that have come aboard and you've taken by the hand and you've worked with? Tell us something about some of the people that you may have worked with in the past.
Well, yeah, I've got the good fortune of worked with a lot of people. I've got a friend of mine. I was just talking to him on Sunday. And he's a multimillionaire now. I started working with him when we worked in the healthy coffee business together. And I remember I called him like 2012 or 2011, I called him and I said, hey, how you doing, brother? Blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, I just started working with this company. You know the way that I do it. Here's what they offer. Here's a comp plan. I can send you a presentation, but I'm going to run with them hard and strong. Right now, I'm taking applications and I'm going to sign people up in the order that they come in. He says, where do I send my information to? Sign me up. Sign me up with whatever pack you need me to sign up, but I want to be in there right away. So I signed them up and we worked together for a few years. Then the company had some problems. The company went away about 4 years later, but we worked another business together and he made with that company about $250,000 in 6 months. And then he called me his mentor for a long time, went to all of my trainings. And right now, the guy, he's in his, probably I would guess between 55 and 60. And he just told me, you know what, JC, I think I'm done. I think I'm going to retire. I'm going to move to Vegas. And I've had the good fortune to make very good money. And I'm going to just invest in real estate and flip homes here and there. But I don't want to be on the grind out building a business anymore because I've done a lot of that. And I don't have to do that. And I'm very happy for him to do that. I've got another friend who's, before he started working with me, he never made more than like $1,000 a month. Never made more than $1,000 a month. Right now, he's making about $25,000 per month. And he's got a team of thousands and thousands of people with his company. And as a matter of fact, I was just texting him before we started here. And there's a lot of people like that. There's also, I teach people, because this is what was taught to me, this industry, network marketing, it's like a personal development vehicle with a compensation plan. It's full of personal development. So I tell people, even if you don't make a dime from the business, the person you become, if you plug in, the person you become will be worth every penny and every minute that you spent on the business. So I've got some friends. I got another friend. I live in Downey, California. My friend has a real estate office in Downey, California. He's a real estate broker. He just opened up his own office with his own name, his own brand. 7 months ago, they got an office. They outgrew it already. He's got over 30 agents. He just posted on Facebook last week that he's getting his new location in a high-rise building. Guess what? He came from network marketing. And he went out there and he went into the real estate world and he's crushing it in the real estate world. And so it's very rewarding to see people like that. Him, again, he's somebody that I've done trainings. Matter of fact, there's a YouTube training that I did at his office, and there was about 30 agents at his office. This was like 2 years ago. And So he asked me to go. Right now during COVID, they're not doing that, but as soon as COVID is over, I'm going to be a speaker and do a mindset training at his office for all of his agents. And so it's very rewarding to see that. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that. There's another group of people that I mentored as well. And I wasn't the only one that mentored them, by the way. I'm not over here trying to say that I'm the only one that mentored them. By no means. I was one of the people that contributed to their success. And some of them are on my website, jcrangel.com, where they're giving their testimonies on it. But some of them, I not only mentored them in network marketing, but I showed them, because I own a credit repair company, I showed them how to start their own credit repair company. And 3 owners that were in my downline, they partnered up, opened up a credit repair company in Victorville. And, they're doing very, very well. Very, very well.
Wow, that's awesome, man. And the one thing about network marketing is that you can't succeed without helping others succeed. You can't. It doesn't work that way. And a lot of people have a misunderstanding about the industry of network marketing. They think that only the people at the top make money. Right. And that is so not true, because it's impossible for anyone to make money unless you help others make money. And it's one of the only businesses like that. Have you seen that over the years where people have that type of mindset? And if somebody was thinking that is watching this right now, what would you say to them as far as the industry is concerned? The difference in the mindset of that only the people at the top make money, or the goal is to lift everyone else up. What would you say to someone that might be thinking that?
Well, they just don't understand the industry. Because if I've been with a company for 5 years and you come in right now in the bottom of the tree, you could still make more money than me within the next year, 2 years, probably even less. This happens all the time in network marketing, because people seem to think, oh, because I'm under you, I could never make more money than you. They don't understand the comp line. They don't. We've seen this many times where people come in after and they way surpass. I've done this to people. I've had people do this to me, where we come in after and we make more money than the people up top. So that's not the case. One of the things I would tell those people is study the way the compensation plans in network marketing work, because that's certainly not the case. And if you got started early on in the company, you would have less people above you to help you build it. So when you get started a company in network marketing, you've got a lot of people above you that have a financial incentive to help you win. You have a financial incentive to help you win. And so therefore, that's why the old saying, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So like, if you're a part of my sales organization, I'm going to help you. I'm going to train you, get your questions answered, do meetings for you, do calls for you, do trainings for you. Why? Because I have a financial incentive for you to be successful.
Yeah, and that's a big difference, not a little difference. That's a big difference than a normal job situation.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the time the upper management doesn't want you to succeed so much because you can take their job. And they're almost afraid a lot of the time for that to happen. I know that happened with my mom years ago, A lot of people in that case. But here, they want you to surpass them. You kind of want people to grow as big, if not bigger than you, because then everyone wins. They win and you win because they're on your team and you get compensated because of their efforts.
Oh, yeah. I believe that this is the fairest compensation plan by far, because the marketplace in any sales pays you based on the value and the effort that you put in. For example, I've got a friend who told me a long time ago, he joined the company and he was a young guy, and there was a guy that had been with the company 20 years. And so this guy was trying to learn the job, but the guy that had been there for 20 years didn't like him. Why? Because this guy was doing basically the same job that this guy was doing for half the price. So this guy's job is threatened. And he says, and this other guy, he would just kind of like not do that much. He just had this seniority. I would do a lot more than him. And I'd be willing to do it for less money than he was doing it. And so your job is threatened. So in this business, hey, listen, if you bring the value, because time, and people are realizing that in the job world these days, a lot of companies, they're not hiring people based on degrees anymore. They're hiring people based on your way to effectively do the job, to produce. I think people are getting hip to that, because personally, I have a credit repair company, right? And I've owned a couple of traditional companies in my life. I don't care much about book smarts. I care about people smarts. I would rather get somebody who's people smart and book dumb versus somebody who's book smart and people stupid, right? Because I need you to deal with people. I don't care about any degrees. Can you deal with people? Do you have communication skills? These are the skills that really work. And in this industry, those are the skills that pay the bills. Those are the skills here that are valued. So it's a most fair compensation plan. If you bring more revenue, you get paid a percentage of that revenue. Who should get paid more money? The guy that brings in $10,000 worth of revenue or the guy that brings in $100,000 worth of revenue? And no direct sales or network marketing company ever asks you for a resume. After all, isn't a resume just a list of a bunch of things you failed at? I don't care about a resume. I don't care about your past. I care about what you want to do right now. Let's make it happen. And one of the reasons why people have a misconception about network marketing, this is a very important topic, is because they know somebody that tried network marketing and quit. Well, I know a lot of people that tried school and quit too. Does that mean that school's no good? In my opinion, it isn't something that I'm not necessarily for school, but that's another subject that I don't want to get into that. But the point is, here's the difference. Most people quit everything. If you work at a gym in January and February, you're busy. And 90% of the people that get the gym memberships in January and February won't have them by December. 90% quit. So why aren't people attacking the industry of gyms, the gym industry? That'd be silly. Well, network marketing, if you get into real estate, you got to get your license. And the barrier of entry to real estate is a lot harder. Same thing with life insurance sales. Network marketing, we allow anybody to get in. You got a couple $100, come on in, we'll train you. So guess what? A bunch of temporarily motivated people join the industry. Therefore, a lot of people leave the industry. Why? Because we don't discriminate on anybody. It's an equal opportunity.
That makes sense, man. And you know, you said temporarily motivated or something, inspired people. I like that, temporarily motivated, because that's exactly what they are. They're motivated right now. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for people that are committed, yes, not just interested in success.
Right.
So yeah, that's awesome, man. Those are great points. And let me ask you this. Here's a trick one for you. Let's say you lost everything. Okay, so next 30 days, you know, this coronavirus dealio went ahead and wiped out all your money, all your bank account, and all you had was the skill set, the thing between your two ears. And you had to go out and start all over. You had to take care of the kids, take care of your family, and, you know, make things happen in 30 days. You had to get the ball rolling in 30 days. What would you do to pull that off?
Great question. Well, there's two things that I would do. And it all depends on the circumstances and the timing. The two things I would do, one of these two things I would do, possibly both. Number one, find a good network marketing company with a product I believe, with the right support system. Make a list of 200-300 people. Fire away phone calls to set up appointments to sit down and present the business to them. Make the fast start bonuses and the rest of the bonuses available. Or number two, I would go and do door-to-door sales. I would go and knock on 100 doors per day. What I would sell would probably be home security systems or solar, something along those lines. Because I know that in that industry, I could go out there and make $5,000, $10,000 my first month if I go out there and work. The difference is that most people are not willing to pay the price. Most people think that because they go to work for 8 hours that they put in 8 hours worth of work, when in reality they put in 1 or 2. So how much time of actual work are you putting into your day? There's some people that say, I'm full-time in network marketing. No, you're just unemployed. Does that make sense? Because you're unemployed doesn't make you full-time in this industry. Did you work 8 hours? How many appointments did you make? How many presentations did you do? How many phone calls did you make? How many three-way calls? How many Zooms? Now we can add up how many hours you're really working. So it's about separating the activity from the productivity. I know a lot of busy, broke people. You know what I mean? They're busy. Being busy in itself is not enough. You got to be productive, right? So what I would do is find the right network marketing, make a huge list, and put in 8, 10 hours. And by the way, if that was a situation, I wouldn't put in 8 hours. I put in 12 hours, right? Because why? You got to build momentum. You got to build momentum. Let's say, for example, another scenario, same question. let's say I'm like, okay, I'm going to join this network marketing company, but I don't have enough activity to do for 8 hours. I will do that for whatever amount of hours I can. Let's say it's 4 hours, 5 hours. The other hours, I will go out there and door knock and make sales door to door. Boom, 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 right? But the key is, whatever that is, it would be sales. I would be doing some kind of sales. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm able to get a sale in that situation, if I'm able to get a sales job where they could pay me a base salary plus commission, or base salary with a draw against commissions, then I would do that. But if I didn't have that option, I could go out there and make it happen with, because I was actually in a situation like that not that long ago, where I had no choice, right? And this is a different story for another day, but I had no choice but to make it happen in a short period of time. And I did that with door-to-door sales. And I went out there and made it happen. And I had other people that were doing door-to-door sales where they were happy when they got 1 or 2 sales. And they're like, oh, you want to go home? And I was like, no, we said we're going home at 7. It's 4. Yeah, but we had a good day. I don't care. And I'm the one that drove. So if you want to go home, you could take an Uber. But see, the reason why most people don't have confidence is because they don't keep promises to themselves. They'll tell themselves, I'm going to go out there and work out tomorrow. And they don't do it. I'm going to work till this day. I'm going to make this many phone calls. And they don't do it. So constantly lying to themselves, their self-confidence goes down because they never keep promises to themselves. If I say I'm going to work till 7, or I'm going to do X amount of calls, or whatever the case is, that's how many I'm going to do. And it's just what it is.
Yeah, and wow, that's amazing. And, you know, I'm listening to you, and, you know, I've asked the same type of question to different people, you know, during this whole summit. And it's interesting because no one ever says, I'm going to get a job. No one ever says that, because your security is in your skill set, sounds like. Your security is your skill set that you've developed over time. And now you don't need to work for someone else. You go work for yourself, because you know if you put in the effort, you get the results. You rely on your skill set and your abilities to be able to produce for your family versus waiting for someone else to give you a paycheck. And that's why there's 40 million people out of work, because they're relying on someone else to give them a check.
Yeah.
And that's what this summit's all about, to really give people that, let them know that there's other options. And there's average people just like me and you. I mean, we're just normal guys, working guys that are making it happen. You know, that's why one of the things I did on the show, I did not want to put the big names out there. You know, you're a big name in the industry, but in the big world, you know, we're workers. This is what we do. And that's what people need to see. They need to see people just like you, that are making it happen, that are family men and go to church, you know, go honor the Lord and you know, study the Bible, and just normal people, everyday, hardworking people. And here's what I do, not some theory and concept I read in a book 10 years ago. What I do today. This is what you do today. Like when you get off this, I'm probably going to make some calls today, right? That's right.
That's right.
That's right. So, you know, last question. I have some tips. I want to ask you some tips. Maybe give them 3 specific tips, some 3 of your best tips they can do so they can win big the rest of this year. What are 3 main things you can give them?
Sure. Well, one of the tips that I would give you that I think is the foundation of everything is work on yourself, personal development. Because if you work on yourself, on the personal development, right, which is working on your mind, right? I believe that the mindset is the #1 thing, right? Because if you have the best sales ability, presenting ability, whatever the case may be, if your mindset is not strong, then all that's out the window. Because the majority of people that I see that have success have less start and stops, right? The majority of people that fail have more starts and stops. So they'll start something, then they'll stop. Small things get them, knock them off their path, small things. The most successful people, life happens to us all, but they have less start and stops, and it's less recovery time from every start to stop. And that has a lot to do, for example, COVID. COVID is a perfect example. COVID has been around, since March? We're going on 4 months, okay? There are people that I see, their business took off. Other people, their business completely died, flatlined. Why? Because that's a hard stop for them. Other people, including myself, including yourself, We were like, okay, we've got to adjust. What do we do? And we figure it out. We're not throwing a pity party feeling sorry for ourselves. Instead of throwing a pity party feeling sorry for ourselves, we said, how can we adjust during these times? What are some opportunities? I'll give you an example. One of what I told my mom sews. She's retired, but for fun, she sews, right? Like, I said, Mom, why don't you make some masks? Everybody's buying masks. Make some masks, sell them on offer. So that's what she did. She made masks, started selling them on offer. She's made hundreds of dollars by doing that. Keep in mind, she's retired. She does it more than anything, for the money, but also she does it because it's a hobby of hers. She feels productive, right? What I did is, our ADT dealer, my wife and I have an ADT home security dealer. What happened is that ADT said no door knocking, no visiting new homeowners, only referrals. So we focus on our solar business, and we made solar sales from home, and we did presentations via Zoom. A bunch of other people, they just took it off. They got on support from the government. The point that I'm getting to is, you have to develop your mind through personal development, number one. Number two is develop the discipline. You can only develop the discipline if you have the right mindset and personal growth. You can only develop that discipline. The discipline to keep going. The discipline to, identify, which is tip number 3. Identify what you want to achieve in 2020. Identify what you want to achieve. Number 2, identify what the price that you must pay to achieve that. And then number 3, get busy paying that price. So identify, here's what I want to achieve. Okay, what does that take? And what do you have to sacrifice, right? And then lastly, get busy paying that price. Keep the promise to yourself. And finally, I would say, major in majors. Don't major in minors. Majoring in majors means identify what are the things, the biggest money-making things that you can do every day in your business that will get you results. Don't major in the minors. Don't spend a lot of time designing your new flyer, your new business card. Don't spend time on that. What are the things that make you the most money? If you're a real estate agent and for example, open houses and door knocking is the biggest money maker, make a goal of how many doors you're going to knock weekly. Make a goal of, is it every weekend you're going to do an open house, every Saturday, or 3 Saturdays a month, right? Whatever the case is, do that. If it's cold calling, how many calls you're going to make, how many days a week, right? Major in majors. If you have to turn off your social media while you're doing it, turn it off. You shouldn't be going to Facebook in the middle of you having a successful day. I think, there's a good book that says the sleep of a laboring man is sweet, right? And so guess what? There's a Chinese proverb that said, he who rolls up his sleeve shall never lose his shirt, right? And the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. 3 questions I ask myself at night. Number 1, would I want to work with me? That's number 1. Whether it's a customer or a team member. Would I want to work with me? The answer should be yes. Number 2, if my team did what I did today, how much money would we make? And how much closer to our goals will we be? And then finally, 3, do I deserve to sleep tonight? Do I deserve to sleep tonight based on the efforts? Did I give it everything that I've got? Yes, great. I had a successful day. That's all I can control. All I can control is my attitude and my actions. If I have the right attitude, that'll lead to the right actions. So do I feel great at night? Because I know that I gave it a hard day's work. Yes. Those are the 3 questions.
Wow, man, powerful tips, powerful. And I told you guys as you're watching this show today that JC was gonna deliver, and he absolutely has. If you just take the information he just taught you today, no matter your circumstance, you might be in a bad situation, you might be in a great situation, but I'm assuming that a lot of you that are watching this right now that may be going through something, because this COVID has affected a lot of people. Especially people that work normal jobs. And if you're out there looking for something, JC, I know he's in a great business opportunity. You go to our website and you check it out, and you can see, get his information, his name and phone number and emails there. I would recommend 100% to connect with JC, because JC is the man. He absolutely it loves people and he uses money versus loves money and uses people to get it. So he absolutely will take care of you. He'll help you, and he'll help you learn the right mindset and the skills so you can be where you want to be in 2020. So again, JC, man, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, bro. Again, thank you for your wisdom and knowledge, and I'm sure everybody here is fired up to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. God bless everybody, and I hope the rest of 2020 is the best of 2020. God bless.
All right, thank you. All righty.
Thank you, Stephen.